Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Nadia Dwi Kartika and my student number 060-111-8182-3017. I am from 5th semester of Sriwijaya University. Today, I want to presentation in chapter 6 of educational psychology, and the material is about motivation and classroom learning. Okay, let's start. There are three. The content is the first is motivational theories and student outcomes, the role of motivational components in classroom learning, and conclusion um, conclusion and future direction for research. Motivation and classroom learning is often discussed solely in terms of cognitive and the various cognitive and metacognitive processes that are involved when students learn in academic setting. Motivational models and construct were cognitive, especially in social cognitive models of motivation, but the link between the motivational construct and the cognitive tasks and models were not made explicit in the research or in the theoretical models of motivation. This chapter first discusses four general outcomes of motivation. Then it considers how different motivational constructs are related to these four outcomes. From the analysis, four generalizations are proposed for how motivational construct can facilitate or constrain cognition and learning. The chapter concludes with a discussion of future research direction for integrating motivation and cognition. Motivational theories and student outcomes. Um, there are many different motivational theories related to achievement and learning. These theories make some different meta-theoretical assumptions about human nature and have proposed a large number of different constructs to explain motivated human behavior. The term motivation comes from the Latin verb movere, which means the move. Motivation is evoked to explain what gets people going, keeps them going, and helps them finish tasks. Most motivational theories attempt to for general outcomes. The first motivational theories are concerned with why individuals choose one activity. For example, in high school, students are often allowed to choose some of their course. Motivational theories have examined why some students choose to take more academic math and science course over less rigorous course. The second is um, motivated behavior. That motivational research has examined is the student level of activity or involvement in a task. For example, taking detailed notes and asking good questions in the class, being willing to take risks in the class by stating ideas or opinion. Um, The third motivated behavior that has been examined in most motivational theories is persistence. For example, persistence and behavior engagement are much easier for teachers and others to judge than is cognitive engagement. And the fourth is general outcomes that motivational theories have examined is actual achievement or performance. For example, in the classroom setting, this involves predicting course grade, scores on classroom tests, or performance on standardized achievement tests. The next is about the role of motivational components in classroom learning. The first expectancy components. Expectancy components are student answer the questions, can I do this task? If students believe that they have some control over their skills and the task environment, and if they are confident in their ability to perform the necessary skills, they are most likely to choose to do the task, be cognitively involved, persist at the task, and achieve at higher levels. The second is control belief. There have been a number of constructs and the theories proposed about the role of control beliefs for motivational dynamics. Self-efficacy belief. Self-efficacy beliefs are positively related to adaptive cognitive and self-regulatory strategy used as well as actual achievement in the classroom. The next is value components. Uh, Value components of the model incorporate individual goals for engaging in the task as well as their belief about the importance, utility, or interest of the task. Goal orientation. All motivational theories posit some type of goal, purpose, or intentionality of human behavior, although these goals may range from relatively accessible and conscious goals as in attribution theory to relative and, and goals as theories. The next is tax value. The importance component of tax value refers to individuals' perception of the tax important or silence for them. Affective components include students' emotional reaction to the task and their performance. For example, anxiety, pride, and shame, and their more emotional needs for self-worth and self-esteem. Anxiety. There is a long history of research on test anxiety, and it is general negative relationship to academic performance. Test anxiety is one of the most conscious individual difference variable that can be linked to detrimental performance in achievement situation. Other affective reaction. Besides anxiety, other affective reaction can influence choice and persistence behavior. And the last, emotional needs. The issue of an individual's emotion needs. Example, need for affiliation, power, self-worth, and self-esteem, and self-actualization is related to the motivational construct of goal orientation. Although the need components is assumed to be less cognitive, more effective, and perhaps less accessible to the individuals. The last content is conclusion and future direction for research. There are four the issues about the relation between motivational construct and classroom cognition and learning demonstrate the importance of considering how motivation can facilitate or constrain cognition. The first the first, much of the work, motivation, and classroom learning has been conducted from a motivational perspective and following a motivational paradigm, has used self-report questionnaires to measure both motivation and strategy, use self-regulated learning in actual classroom. Uh, the second the second, much of the work reported on this chapter has focused on the use of general learning strategies and self-regulated learning. And the third, issues relate to the general development progression of relation between motivation and cognition. And the final is Although this chapter has not focused on the role classroom factors in generating, shaping, and scaffolding student motivation and cognition, classroom do have clear effect on motivation and cognition. Okay, that's my presentation, and I want to open question and answer session. Any question? Any question for me?
Habibah, not
Yes, Nur Habibah.
okay. So based on your explanation, can you mention three general components seem to be important in these different models?
Hmm. Okay, thank you, Nur Habibah. I want to answer your questions. I think there are three general components seems to be important in these different models. The first is belief about one ability or skill to perform the task. Um, like expectancy components, uh, like I said before. So the second is belief about the importance, interest, and utility of the task, like value components. And the third is feelings about the self or emotional reaction to the task, like affective component. Did I answer your question, Firda?
Yes, Nadia, thank you.
Okay. Um, Other questions for me?
I want to ask question, Nadia.
Yes, Winnie.
What contingency between their behaviors and their performance?
Okay, thank you. Uh, what are different individuals' belief about the contingency between their behavior and their performance? I think individuals' belief about the contingency between their behavior and their performance in a situation are linked to the student learning and achievement. In a classroom context, this means the student motivational belief about the link between their studying, self-regulated learning behavior, and achievement will influence their actual studying behavior. For example, if a student believes that no matter how hard they study, they will not be able to do well on a semester test because they simply lack the aptitude to master the material, and then they will be less likely to actually study for the test. In the same fashion, if students believe that their effort in studying can make a difference regardless of their actual aptitude for the material, and then they will be more likely to study the material. Did I answer your question, Winnie?
Okay, thank you, Nadia.
Yes, you're welcome.
Uh,
Yes, last question, Fanny.
Nadia, okay. I want to ask you, can you explain what is the important component of the tax value? And please give me example.
Okay, great questions. Thank you, Fanny. I want to answer. I think the important components of tax value refers to individual perception of the tax importance or salience for them. The perceived importance of a tax is related to the general goal orientation, but importance could vary by goal orientation. An individual orientation may guide the general direction of behavior, whereas value may relate to the level of involvement. For example, mm, a student may believe that success in a particular course is very important, or very important, regardless of her intrinsic or extrinsic goals. That is, and the students may see success in the course as learning the material or getting a good grade, but he or she still may attack differential importance to these goals. So importance should be related to individual persistence at a task as well as choice of a task. Did I answer your question, Fanny?
Yeah, Nadia. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. That's all my presentation, and thank you for your attention, guys. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good day.
Apa nih, Yosi, Boker?
Bacot.